Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela.
Education is one of the most important investments a country can make in its people and future. It is key to reducing poverty and inequality, giving its people the skills they need to help better provide for themselves and the generations to come.
Throughout Canada, education is mandatory. Here in New Brunswick, education is mandatory right up until you're 18, and that brings most students up to a high school diploma. After that, education is their responsibility. Since the 1970s, admission to colleges and universities have been the same standard practice. As long as you have the prerequisite classes for the specific subjects, you can apply and either get admitted or denied. These acceptances are based almost solely on marks.
This practice seems normal since it's been around for over 40 years, but perhaps it's been 40 years too long.
If we know that education is so important and students are willing to learn, then why do institutions have the right to be denying students a chance at an education?
At the ages of 15 and 16, when students are entering grade 11, they're forced to choose the classes that are prerequisite for post-secondary education.
These classes decide and limit what a student is able to do with their future.
How are we supposed to make life decisions when we still have to ask to go to the bathroom?
Even if students choose the proper prerequisite classes, when they're at university, their passions may change. And why shouldn't they be able to follow those passions, whether they have the required classes or not? We can't expect anyone to be successful at something they're not passionate about.
On top of that, these universities are funded by the government, money raised by our tax dollars.
So whether you're attending these schools or not, it's your tax dollars that are funding them. At the University of New Brunswick, 60.5% of their income comes from provincial operating grants. That accounts for $108 million per year.
If our tax dollars are already paying for these institutions, and a student is willing to pay up to $6,000 on top of that, why can't they receive the education they want?
Some people might argue that there's not enough room or there's not enough teachers.
At the University of Montreal, when there was over 8,000 applicants, only 7,000 were accepted. In the end, only a little over 4,000 ended up being enrolled.
This means that many universities have extra space, and if more professors are needed, although it may cost more money, an investment in the education of our students is definitely worthwhile.
I want my education to be my decision. I don't care if I have the required classes or marks. My success in any field should not be determined by my past. We are the people funding these education systems, and it's time that we do not allow any university to determine what we are able to do with our future.